Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and since it is October, I have two videos planned for you. One is this one, r/NoSleep, and possibly Morbid Reality. If you don't know what any of these are, r/NoSleep is basically a compilation of stories, like little horror stories, which I will be reading for you. And r/Morbid Reality is kind of self-explanatory. If you want more information, I highly suggest checking out Ailaris's videos, since he did an amazing job reading them. But without any further ado, let's get into this. As I studied the rules on my phone, a vibrant glow enveloped my face, as if casting a magical enchantment upon me. The rules unraveled before my eyes, their words etched in bold and captivating letters. Times New Roman? I snickered. Seriously? Couldn't they have chosen a more exciting font? The message itself seemed to speak directly to me, starting with a simple, "Hello, Jane." It urged me to approach this journey cautiously, with unwavering determination. I couldn't help but chuckle at this exaggerated theoretics, finding them rather amusing. Nevertheless, I continue reading, uncovering the steps necessary to successfully complete the ritual. To proceed, find a building with at least 10 stories, the text stated. Fortunately, luck was on my side, and there's, behold, a grand 17-floor structure just blocks away from my parents' place. This particular building emitted an air of dullness and weariness. Filled with middle-aged men, their existence seemed devoid of purpose. Drowned in a sea of sadness, inside those walls, a printing company toiled away. Its main purpose is to produce calendars adorned with beautiful pictures showcasing European landmarks. Until now, that building held no significance to me, lacking any real connection. As I read the next instruction, it unfolded before me. Once you've found your desired building, enter the elevator alone, no exceptions. This rule is absolute. And then came the third rule. Take a journey through the floors, going up to the fourth, then down to the second. Go up again to the sixth, back down to the second. Finally, ascend to the 10th, before descending again to the 5th floor. These words, woven with intrigue, captured my attention, pulling me further into the mysterious enigma that awaited me. When you reach the 5th floor, a girl will come in. Do not speak to her. She is not human. If you do talk to her, she'll take you away. Press 1 if the elevator instead starts going up to the 10th floor. Then congratulations, you've successfully entered another world. When there is no one here except you, have a safe journey. I reread the rules, making sure I fully understood them. I read the instructions once more, truly comprehending their essence. My affinity for horror games had always been strong. I had ventured into the realms of Bloody Mary, Ouija board, Tushiura, and countless others. However, despite all of the fun they provided, these experiences merely unfold as mere games, failing to deliver on the promise of encounters with unearthly entities. So, I entered the elevator, my exceptions aligned with the pattern. However, it was pretty stupid for me to think that I can successfully play this game, being that person entered the elevator at each stop. With every stop, workers would enter and exit, causing my frustrations to grow exponentially. The only way to truly play this game is at night, when there's no more workers in the building, I silently mused. The act of trespassing under cover of darkness turned out to be less difficult than initially presumed, especially considering the insignificance attached to any potential events within the confines of this old building. I was finally alone. As I once again stepped into the elevator, the ambience changing from loud office buzz to eerie silence. With every floor I rode on the elevator, my anticipation grew. The mechanical sounds echoed through the empty shaft, intensifying the night's stillness. With the doors open on the 2nd floor, a dimly lit hallway stretched before me as if time had frozen in this desolate realm. I ascended to the 6th floor and descended again, heightening the surreal experience. As the 10th floor doors opened, an otherworldly silence greeted me, charged with an incomprehensible energy. Pressing the button for the 5th floor, my heart raced with anticipation. The elevator began to descend, and as it reached the 5th floor, the door slowly opened. A girl, seemingly no older than 15, stood before me. Her appearance was ethereal, her eyes piercing, her presence captivating. Remembering the warning from the rules, I resisted the urge to speak, though curiosity gnawed at me. Her gaze met mine, and a mischievous smile played on her lips. Without uttering a word, she stepped into the elevator, standing inches away from me. The air grew heavier as an eerie silence settled between us. As the elevator's door closed, a strange sensation washed over me, her voice piercing the air, sending chills down my spine. "Hi, what time is it?" she asked, her tone increasingly sinister, ignoring her only fueled determination. "What time is it?" she demanded again, her voice deepening as she inched closer. As I tightly shut my eyes, but her restless repetition for all those 4 words echoed relentlessly until an eerie silence took over. Slowly, I dared to open my eyes, and to my relief, she had vanished into thin air, leaving behind an unsettling emptiness. The space within the confines of the elevator seemed to shift, morphing into something unrecognizable. My heart pounded in my chest as I pressed the 1st floor button. The elevator jerked into motion, but instead of descending to the 1st floor, it began to ascend to the 10th. A mixture of awe, fear, and excitement swirled within me. I had successfully entered another world. The realization dawned on me that I had embarked on an adventure unlike any other, with the unknown possibilities stretching out before me. I can't explain what has happened to me the past few weeks, but I'm gonna try. I was just watching TV as usual, then the commercial popped up. It was an old-style commercial used to advertise the McDonald's new mascot, Mr. Snuggles. He was a normal clown with a weird makeup and a white dress or gown type thing, but one thing struck out to me as odd. The bow tie. It wasn't a normal bow tie. Instead, it was made out of 2 red latex glove-like hands. For some reason, this really freaked me out, and I always just flicked to another channel when the ad came on, until one day when I was catching up on my favorite soap opera. The drama was interrupted with a deep, almost childlike voice saying, "We'll be right back after the ads." Then a commercial, for some reason, of snack came on, and in the background I swear I saw Mr. Snuggles. I rubbed my eyes and looked again, but it was gone. Then a toilet paper ad came on, and again there was a flash of Mr. Snuggles in the background. I turned off the TV and decided that it was time for bed. Obviously I was seeing things because I hadn't gotten enough sleep. As I was walking upstairs, I heard something coming from the living room. It was TV static. I looked up at the TV from the stairs and saw that it was on. I slowly walked down back the stairs and watched the television cautiously. Suddenly the channels started playing for just long enough to hear a word. Then they would switch. The words seemed to deliberately choose, as if someone was controlling my TV. First thing I hear was I. Then there was a switch, then a will, another switch, then a kill. Switch, then you. I will kill you. I will kill you. I didn't have time to register what I heard before the commercial came on. It was the McDonald's one. Mr. Snuggles walked into the restaurant, made the same knock-knock joke about the Big Mac, then turned over to look at me. "Are you hungry, John?" My eyes widened. It said my name. I grabbed the remote, then hit the off button. The TV turned off, then back on again. This time, there was a close-up of the clown with a hideous grin. "That wasn't very nice," Mr. Snuggles said, fake crying. Then it smiled and let out a laugh. "I wonder if you'll try that again," it said, looking at me smugly. I turned it off again. At the same time, the lights turned off in my house. I felt a breath on my neck, hot and sticky like some dog. "Knock, knock," it said behind me. straight into my ear, although I didn't say it out loud. "Who's there?" echoed around my head. I spun around and flung the remote into its face. It was Mr. Snuggles. It let out a yelp and grabbed its nose. It quickly got a hold of itself and outstretched its hands for my neck, squeezing. "You shouldn't have done that," it rasped, squeezing harder. I felt my heart beating faster and faster, almost like it was trying to escape my body. I used my hand to pull the pen out of my back pocket, making sure I had enough force. I wound my head back and stabbed it into the side of the clown's neck as hard as I could. It howled in pain and pulled its hands off my throat. As I grasped for breath, it looked at me with hate, then eventually evaporated into the air. The lights in my house flickered back to life. I went around my house, turning on all of them on because I never wanted to be in the dark again. Not after that anyways. I didn't call the police. No way they would believe me. There was no proof, except for small marks on my neck. But doesn't mean I didn't try to protect myself. At night, I turned on all my TVs away from me, so they would be facing the walls. I grabbed a spare curtain rod and kept it next to my bed while I slept. I was strictly against guns and knives, but I still kept a small cooking knife in my bedside drawer just in case. I thought I was prepared. I thought wrong. It was weeks before I was even willing to watch TV again. Even then, I had rules. I made to try and make myself feel safe. 1. Never watch commercials. When they came on, I have to switch channels or turn off the TV until they're over. 2. Don't keep the TV on static. Always have a light in the room surrounding the TV room. 4. Have some kind of protective weapon just in case. 5. Never watch any McDonald's related shows, commercials, or movies. I thought this would keep me from being a target again. Obviously, I hadn't thought of everything, though. One night, I had the TV on while I was cooking food. The kitchen near the TV room and its open floor plan, so I could see the TV from the kitchen. Then static came on again. I grabbed my remote and turned it off, dismissing it as a faulty signal. Then the TV came back on again. The channels began changing. Red, E, 4, round, 2, the TV said. I froze in fear, knowing that there was no coincidence. Ready for round 2. This was what I had been preparing for. I grabbed the knife then I was using to cut cucumbers with it and held it up. The commercial came on. Mr. Snuggles made a corny joke and then said, "Let's introduce our special guest." Everyone in the restaurant cheered as I walked into the McDonald's. I was watching myself on TV. I was shocked. This was not what I'd been thinking was going to happen at all. "John is here for lunch," Mr. Snuggles said, leading me into the kitchen. I was smiling and walking with him until we disappeared into the chef's room. A few seconds later, Mr. Snuggles came out with a pop. I was nowhere to be found. A small toddler walked up to Mr. Snuggles and said, "What's for lunch, Mr. Snuggles?" he asked earnestly. The clown looked straight through the TV at me. "I already told you." There was a pause. "John." My eyes got wide for the second time watching this ad as I realized what it meant. Then it all went to black. I woke up stuck on a ceiling, looking down at what I thought was a kitchen. Mr. Snuggles came into the room, smiled at me. He made a motion with his hands. I fell down to the floor, no longer bound by the tiled roof. "I'm glad you can join us," he said, carefully. "No, stop. What are you doing?" I shouted. "Why'd you do this?" "Because I have to." His smug look faltered. For a second, I sounded desperate. "No, you don't. I didn't do anything." "I know. But he makes me." "Who?" "My boss." "He doesn't control you," I replied, trying to look understanding. "It's hell!" Mr. Snuggles shouted, looking angry. "You think I like what I do? No! I hate him. I hate you. I hate myself, and I hate McDonald's." He looked sad and stared at the floor. But I have to. He looked at the wall closest to him and pressed a button that was attached to it. The floor opened up. A big pot came out of the hole. It was at least 7 feet tall. It radiated heat like it was boiling. He picked up a ladder and put it on the side so someone could climb onto the edge of the pot and presumably get in. I looked at him. I'll make this easy then. Mr. Snuggles looked at me puzzled. I'll go into the pot myself without having you make me, except for one thing. Could you just tell me how full it is with boiling water? The clown nodded and climbed up the ladder. He leaned over the side. Pretty full, he said. I knew this was my one chance. I ran over to him and pushed him in as hard as I could. He fell into the pot, screaming as his skin bubbled and burnt off. I felt the restaurant start to crumble and the world went to black. I woke up again in my kitchen, sprawled out on the floor. My head hurt, but other than that, I felt relatively okay. I just pulled out my phone and went to Reddit. I know that people here can have good advice, and I can hopefully sort things out. All the people saying this is fake, there might be someone out there who knows what to do. Mr. Snuggles is dead. At least I hope he is. Because if not, he'll come back and get me. I know he will. This brings a whole new meaning to fast food not being good for you. It certainly hasn't been good to me. I'm going to take a break from TV for a while and maybe try out the TikTok app everyone's using this day. I'm never eating at McDonald's again. And that's all for today's video, folks. If you want me to cover morbid reality, let me know in the comments below. I'm always willing to read them. And other than that, have a good one.